you've talked about what makes your publication source different, right? And stand out from others. But how do you communicate that with your prospective clients?
We really don't have to pitch it much. I've got because of the established domain, like I said, launching in 1997, we've got thousands and thousands of articles published, press releases and stuff on the Newswire site.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another show of the Determined Society podcast. I am your host, Sean French, and today I have with me a good friend of mine, Curtis McCoy. He is known for founding dozens of businesses, including a cosmetic laser clinic, a pharmaceutical company, and a telecommunications company that served over 250,000 visitors monthly. Many don't know about the struggles that he faced in his life, including abuse as a child, type 1 diabetes, and even overcoming a terminal brain cancer diagnosis before buying Newswire a few years ago and recently launching Newswire magazine. My boy Curtis is a motivational speaker who's phenomenal at inspiring others to overcome adversity. McCoy launched Newswire magazine to share stories of entrepreneurs and leaders who are crushing it in life and in business. Everybody give a warm welcome to my boy Curtis McCoy. What's up, brother?
Appreciate it, Sean. Man, I'm glad to have been able to feature you on the magazine as well. You've got
bro, like I'm gonna tell you what,
you're crushing as well.
So blessed and grateful for you putting me on that cover, and even you asking me to be on the cover of your magazine was one of those things. I'm like, wow, this is really cool, and it inspired me to do a really good job, and in giving you the information that was needed to write the article. So. It's going well. It's trending and people are loving it. And, that's just, a testament to your skills and knowledge in your profession. So I thank you very much.
Well, I mean, we've got dozens of people on there that are, a whole lot of articles and stuff, but yours, I just checked this morning, and actually, let me refresh right now. You've got over 3,000. We just published this yesterday afternoon, but so far, 4,043 readers total, and 3,049 of those today, or since 6 p.m. last night.
That's crazy.
So you're blown up.
That's crazy, man. I'm gonna be at your status in no time with readers, right? Gotta get those views up. No, again, I'm so grateful for it. It was an awesome experience working with you in that, and I just think that this is something for the audience to really kind of dig into and think about. Always work with people you enjoy, right? I mean, you can get featured in, different publications, and, I'm going to tell you what, and I have, and, this experience felt very specific and custom towards me. It wasn't a cookie cutter, and you gave me a lot of autonomy to really kind of just go and, kind of, hey, here's your rope, cowboy. You go figure out what you want to get out there. So it really stretched me, man. And, I believe I became better because of it.
That's awesome. Well, there's a difference between, you can get featured on different magazines online. You can get on Fiverr and get featured for 10, 15 bucks on different, they call them magazines, but it's just a website somebody threw together with a generic WordPress template, magazine template, and it may look good, but this Newswire we've had, it launched in 1997, and I picked the company up a couple of years ago, but there's a difference between having something that just looks good and something that is search engine optimized. We've got artificial intelligence, the reader under there, so you can click the button and have it actually read your article out to you in English or whatever language. And it's kind of cool features like that, it may look similar, but it's not your typical $15 Fiverr magazine.
I didn't even know you could do that. People do that?
Yeah, I had a couple of them reach out to me when they were starting their little online magazines. And saying that they'd like to feature me for free if they could use my name, use my picture on the magazine or whatever. So there's quite a few of them like that, where now they're selling them for between $15 to $50 per episode or per article or whatever. And I'm like, cool, yeah, feature me. I'm happy to, supply it for free, but
sure. Obviously
bigger publications, or some of them are 30,000 plus to get your name on the cover, get your face on the cover.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. You want to make sure you're working with the right people and that it's going to actually produce the results that you want for yourself, right? It's one thing to, some of the things I feel like is just like optics. Let's talk about that, right? It's just like you mentioned, you can get on Fiverr and I can go and I can get featured in 100 different things for like $1,500. Really think about that.
Yeah.
But is it going to, support my mission moving forward? Is it going to bring me the results that I need to grow my brand, right? And to become a household name? Let me ask you a question. Have you found yourself counseling people when they're coming to you for the service, right? Of like, hey, listen, you can do X, Y, and Z very, very cheap, but here's the difference. So you've talked about what makes your publication source different, right? And stand out from others. But how do you communicate that with your prospective clients?
So we are typically not, I really don't have to, pitch it much. I've got because of the established domain, like I said, launching in 1997, we've got thousands and thousands of articles published, press releases and stuff on the Newswire site. And so it's a name that, anybody in the PR industry knows of Newswire. They've probably already used Newswire. So when we launched the magazine, it was just, oh, cool. That's another publication that this established, credible press release distribution company launched. So we haven't had I've never launched, the online WordPress magazine like a lot of those sites are, where I'm really out having to pitch it and make it sound like something that's not. It's just, if people look at the history on the site or, go to the Who Is lookup or whatever, it's really easy to tell, that it's not just a, not a new thing. So
right.
I really haven't had to pitch it much at all. It's just, I've reached out to a couple, like you, I've reached out as a friend and wanted to feature you just because I knew it was already, we had people getting 10,000 plus views a day on their articles. So I thought that'd be a cool thing to feature you on and that you could bring some value as well.
I think that's one of the things, man, that's always stood out about you to me. Right. And I've never told you this, but I'm going to tell you in front of the whole audience. I've always been very grateful that every interaction I've had from you, you've come with the energy, and I know it's genuine, right, of wanting more for me. You don't want anything from me, like to a point where I said to you, I'm like, all right, yeah, cool, man. But like, what's the catch? Right. Because in this business, let's be honest, man, let's be honest. In this business, there's always some hook, right?
Yeah.
There's always some hook. You think people really give a shit about you, and then they hook you and it's just like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
And so when people like you come along that really match my energy and match my heart, like, it's really, it's a lot of fun for me. And, that's why, I put my heart and soul into this thing that we did together because, like
you did a great job.
Dude, thank you. But I just want to acknowledge you in the interview in front of, all these people that you really care about people. And
appreciate that.
Dude, I'm going to be like, you've offered me multiple things before, one of them I just couldn't do. It was to fly out to California and go to this party with you. But like, I didn't really know you all that well. So I was like, okay, well, like, what's the catch?
What's this
like,
random guy trying
is this real? Like, is this guy even a real person? I knew you were a real person because you've done some things with some people we're in the same circle, right? Yeah. We know the same people. We, literally have friendships with the same dudes, right? Yeah. So I knew you were real, but like, it's just nice to see like all the math is adding up. Yeah. Right. And to me, that's just special. So I wanted to, show you some love for that.
Well, speaking of that Hollywood Hills thing, that was one where I had, it was a PR specialist or the PR guy for somebody else that I had followed on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Lady's got like literally over 1 million active followers that are, she's just absolutely crushing it. And so we'd talk back and forth. I had never met any of these people, but he says, he reached out and said, hey, Rhonda wanted to see if I could invite you as a VIP guest. And he mentioned all these different, all kinds of celebrities and stuff, a couple hundred different celebrities out there. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't watch TV. I have never had cable or, whatever, satellite subscription or whatever. Mm-hmm. Just don't have time to watch TV and be productive at the same time. And so he's listing all these people off and like, cool. Those are all names. I'm not sure who they are, but so I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool. If he said she was needing to help, wanting some help promoting this book launch that she was doing. I'm like, cool, yeah, I'll fly out there. And, if there's a bunch of celebrities or whatever. And then as I started Googling some of these people, like, holy cow, this guy's, the lead drummer for whatever band. Okay, all these people are, actors and actresses and musicians and stuff. Yeah, this is kind of a cool thing. So then I reached out to some other friends like you and had Melissa MJ Vogel, and quite a few other folks. Some of them actually showed up, and I was really hoping that was not a flop where we ended up at some kind of back alley or something. But it was really a cool event.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was absolutely awesome. One of the crazy things. So I showed up an hour early, and told him, hey, I'm not trying to be fancy or nothing. So I showed up in my suit, but like, I'll roll up my sleeves and help them get stuff set up or whatever. And I had no idea that it was this massive, just this ridiculous mansion on the, off over the cliff, and they've got the infinity pool pouring off over the edge. And I showed up, and there's this old guy, kind of old rocker looking guy, really nice suit, but he's got this shredded old band t-shirt, underneath the shirt. There's like holes in his shirt, curly hair, and is wearing a beanie. And so I'm walking around before everything gets started and shaking hands, and said, hey, my name's Curtis. What do you do? So I'm talking to people. And when I asked this guy what he did, he said, well, I haven't been asked that in a while. I guess I play the drums. So I'm like, so I still have no clue who the guy was, but through the whole party, because I wasn't sucking up, trying to be, trying to be buddy with whoever the coolest person at the party was.
Yeah.
I guess this guy, he pulled up in the brand new Bentley. It's like first one off the lot in California, just phenomenal car and stuff. But I had no clue. I thought it was just, kind of this old guy in a shredded t-shirt. And so the whole night, because I was the one with these other celebrities that are there trying to get in this guy's good graces. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even have a clue who he was. So he'd be having a conversation. He's like, Curtis, hey, you got to meet Curtis. This is my boy. Curtis is my man, whatever. And so it was a pretty cool deal with meeting folks like that. Again, just because I was just trying to meet people, didn't want anything from them.
I think it's really cool, man. But, and I think that, a lot of people, a lot of big celebrities, a lot of them, if they lead with ego, they can be really offended by that. Hey, what do you do? Like, what do you mean? You don't know who I am? I'm so-and-so. Yeah. But I think it's also really refreshing for a lot of celebrities because, through them being in the public eye so much, everybody feels like they are, way up here, and they're different, right? They're not just like us. And I feel like as though a lot of them want to be treated like just like a normal people. So when somebody out there truly is treating them like a normal person, they value that person.
I don't know. I might have been offended if I was this big time rock star and the guy that was talking to me had no clue who I was.
Stop icing me. Who the fuck was it? Who was it?
I don't remember.
You still don't know.
I didn't know until later, until all these celebrities are showing up trying to get pictures with the guy and stuff. I didn't even know who he was, but
that's
real
crazy.
Nice guy, real friendly, but
really neat. So, dude, I want to dig into something here. You have a pretty impressive background, right? So you've done a multitude of things: a laser company, pharmaceutical company, and most recently you bought Newswire when you were going through when you were diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. And I really want to touch on that if you're okay talking about it, because this show, my listeners really love, like when shit hits the fucking fan and then they see somebody persevere and, heal themselves or just come out of it on the other side, bigger, better, faster, stronger, and more successful. So talk to me about that day when you found out that you had terminal brain cancer and how you decided to, like, hey, this isn't going to be my reality. I'm going to be on this earth. I think you told me at one point they gave you 3 months to live or 6 months to live.
Yeah. So this is back in 2010. I had been having seizures. I was running the Cosmetic Medical Laser Clinic. I was sponsoring events at the Denver Coliseum. Mm-hmm. Andy Hammond is an IFBB pro bodybuilder. He's the guy that they just did the original Incredibles movie after.
Oh, nice.
That Disney movie. Mm-hmm. So just an absolute swole up, really cool guy. He just passed away recently, but Andy was a good friend of mine. And we did he come down doing this event at the Denver Coliseum in the supplement company that I owned, ripped off the t-shirt, did the posing routine in front of this MMA fight set up there. Mm-hmm. And, just running all these businesses, everything was running amazing, but I kept passing out and having seizures. So I got to where I was having 7 to 10 seizures a week, grand mal seizures. And I'd been a diabetic since I was 27 months old. So my entire life, when I got too low, I'd have seizures from the time I was like 8 years old on. But it got to where it was 7 to 10 times a week. And pretty soon I was having seizures when I was not getting low. It was just a random time there.
Yeah.
And so this is a really embarrassing thing I'm going to share here that may not make me look so cool on your podcast, but I was sponsoring this event at the Denver Coliseum, the title sponsor. So I'd get up there. There's thousands of people. The place is absolutely packed. I was also sponsoring Dwayne Ludwig, who at the time had the fastest knockout in UFC history. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, all these studs there, and then they get up and they're saying, "We got M. Curtis McCoy here. He's the title sponsor. Thanks for putting this on. You know, you guys need to go out and meet Curtis when you get down here. Go visit his booth, whatever." And so everybody in the auditorium, I mean, every single person there had heard my name. They saw me up in the center of the ring and knew who I was. So I get down, I'm head back there, and I pass out, have a seizure, pee myself. So I'm wearing my suit, dark suit, but so pee my pants in front of thousands of people there. And I'm just like at the bottom of the bottom. Like, what could possibly be worse than having an entire Coliseum know your name and then passing out, and I bang my face. So I'm having a seizure on the concrete. So my eyes all blacked up. And so then I'm back there packing up my stuff. I didn't even stay till the end of it, packed my stuff up and went home. And I'm just thinking, if I can't even have, if I can't even get through this event that took all this time to get set up and stuff, and can't even get through that without having a seizure, what good is this? So I kept having these seizures, and pretty soon I woke up one morning and half my body didn't work. So it was like they thought it was a TIA stroke originally, but arm didn't work. My face is sagged down. I was I called my mom, pulled my phone off the counter, and called my mom trying to tell her, "Hey, I think my blood sugar's low. I just had a seizure." But what came out was chicken, pituitary, waffle, phone charger. So I'm like, random words.
Wow.
And so so I tried to say it again: chicken, pituitary, waffle, phone charger. I'm like, couldn't understand what was going on there. So she said, "Curtis, I think you're too low." I'm saying, "No, I'm not too low." I'm trying to tell her I'm not too low. Just, something happened. Paramedics show up. And by the time I was coming out of it a little bit, so I was pulling myself up. I reached up, got a hold of my door handle and pulled myself up, ripped the handle out of my apartment door there, and got stood up and trying to communicate to these guys, telling them, "Listen, I'm insulin dependent diabetic. I had a seizure. I'm too low. Just give me some glucagon, or give me a shot, and give me some glucose or whatever, and I'll be good." But the same thing came out: that chicken, pituitary, phone charger, waffle, random junk. So the guy hands me a notebook, and one of my hands, I've got kind of working there, so I'm trying to write out, "I'm insulin dependent diabetic," write out the story. I hand it back. The paramedic looks at it and he goes, and so he's kind of a new guy. He hands it to the other paramedic, and the guy looks at it and he's like, "What the heck?" So they hand it back to me. I cross it out. Like, that is not what I just wrote. So I cross it out. I write the message again, hand it back to him. And then the senior paramedic guy that was there says, get a stretcher immediately. He's having a stroke." So they tossed me down, strapped me to the stretcher, carried me out. And I woke up in the hospital. I don't know how much later. I don't know if it was hours or next day or a couple days or whatever later, but I woke up, still couldn't communicate. And as I woke up, the doctor put his hand on my mom's shoulder, and he said, "I wish we had better news. This is a malignant glioblastoma brain tumor." So, and they had done, all of the tests and everything there, but he said he's got a malignant glioblastoma brain tumor. It's, final stage. I can guarantee there's zero chance of survival. And, what we'd like to do is put him on, do chemo, radiation, brain surgery, try to slow it down. And I would recommend you take him to Disneyland, do some kind of a thing, make some memories here while you've still got time, but he will not survive. And so the guy leaves, and I'm so mad at this doctor. At the time I'm bodybuilding, I'm 252 pounds, swole up and lean, and thinking, "You idiot, I don't want to go to Disneyland. I want to get back to where I get my companies going." But I go through all this and lost absolutely everything, lost all my companies, lost the pharmaceutical company, everything we were doing there. Ended up sleeping on my parents' floor in Crawford, Colorado, middle of nowhere. And we were 30 miles from the nearest stoplight. and sleeping on their living room floor in a one bedroom log cabin. And it just started from there again. So yeah, it was kind of a crazy thing to go from being feeling like I was on top of the world to absolutely nothing and having to start from scratch again.
I think what's not the most interesting about this. I mean, I want to get to the most interesting part, but what I find is very interesting is, that's, how life is, right? You can be at the top of the mountain one moment, and all of a sudden a big wind gust can knock your ass down to the bottom and you're rebuilding again. And I think at some point, everybody listening to this show, myself included, can relate to having to start over, whether it was the mortgage meltdown in 2007, that was my story, right? I lost everything. I turned into this loser that had to move back to Florida from, I lived in California. That's where I'm from. I went back there after I played baseball at LSU and I wanted to be back in California, and I lost everything. Right. And I told myself the story when the interest, when the loans started, the stated loans went away and like all that kind of stuff, that whole, bad loan thing. I'm like, dude, we're done here in California because it's so expensive. No one's going to qualify for shit. And I was convinced I was going to lose my house, convinced I was going to have my car repoed, and it happened. And because I just sat in that mindset, right?
Everybody, I was just going to say that mindset is.
Yeah. Like everybody feels, and it's just so funny because I talk to everybody like, dude, they tell me like, Sean, you don't understand. You are disciplined. You've been this way. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, no, I had to lose my ass for me to understand that my thoughts were, coming to real life. And there was something, so real about your thoughts becoming things, right? And because you start to operate in that frequency and you start to attract things and make stupid decisions that will put you in that exact position that you fear. So I think that's a very cool point for everybody to listen to. Like, listen, we've all lost things at times. But I think what is more impressive with your story is like, it just wasn't a financial thing. It was multiple things, right? Like you literally had 0% chance to live. So for everybody listening, thinking that, like, hey, what I'm going through right now is freaking hard. It may well be hard, right? But like, put yourself in Curtis's position. If you're a parent, put yourself in his mom's position. Like, how in the fuck do you come back from that? Yet, Curtis did. He's here with us today. Almost 13 years later.
Yep.
And so at what point, when you were mad at him, but what did you say? Like when you were released from the hospital, how did you beat this, man? Because that is something I'm telling you right now. That's almost like, pancreatic cancer. Like, dude, it's a death sentence, man. Like, yep. You may have one or two people out of a whole bunch of people that actually beat that. I don't know the stats. All right, guys. So for you, hop on here and fact check my ass. I'm just talking, right? Fuck. So how did that work out for you, man?
Drive your interaction up as well.
Oh, it absolutely is. So come at me. Come on, people. Let's go. Let me piss you off. So what was that moment like?
So there was, I've been, I'm a believer. I believe Jesus died for my sins. I know where I'm going when I'm done.
Right there.
And so that wasn't when the doctor said I was going to die, it was I think I was more mad that he wanted my mom to take me to Disneyland and treat me like a special kid. He's like, and they're talking about doing brain surgery. So I would have had, the kid in the helmet not being able to communicate. And he was saying I would never be able to communicate again. And so I was frustrated with that, going, if I could stand up, get my arm to move, I'd knock your teeth out. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But it was just a weird thing like that. But as he's telling her that there's 0% chance of survival, I went home. Originally, I didn't move out of Denver right away. I went and I moved in with a buddy who's actually the vice president of another company that I owned, and a supplement company. I was running 5 or 6 different companies at the time, but moved into his basement, having seizures and stuff, and had all that going on. And that's actually why I started writing the first book. It was the fourth one that I published. That's why I started writing the book, was not because I wanted to be a famous author, but I basically just wanted to have something for my mom to kind of remember me by, and have a book on the cover on the coffee table when after I'd passed. Mm-hmm. But we went to I also owned that cosmetic medical laser clinic, and we were manufacturing bioidentical injectable research peptides like IGF-1, long R3, pegylated mechanical growth factor, different injectable peptides that helped with tissue regeneration.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a doctor working for me that said if he got cancer, he would absolutely never let him or his family, whoever got the cancer, he would never let them do the American Medical Association approved cancer treatments. He said there's stuff in Germany, Mexico, there's different treatments in other countries, but he would absolutely never let them touch him with the with the American Medical Association approved treatments. So I thought that was kind of a crazy thing coming from a very sharp doctor. And he brought in, we had another compounding pharmacist that was working at Abbott Pharmaceuticals. So real high level pharmacist, and saying, yep, he would not do the American Medical Association approved stuff. So we went to Tijuana, Mexico. My mom had this idea to take me down to Tijuana to a clinic called the Hoxie Biomedical Clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's warning how it was dangerous and dirty and, how it's unsafe and Tijuana is a scary place or whatever. But my thought at the time, I thought Tijuana was a stupid idea as well, because here I am doing, American medical stuff.
Right.
But so I was the only reason I even agreed to go to Tijuana was so that my mom felt like we had tried everything we could.
Okay.
At least we could just, at least she would feel like we had tried. And, I figured however I died, it was going to be, I knew where I was going, so it wasn't a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But got down there to Tijuana and they started doing these, it's all kinds of injectable natural stuff like vitamin B17. It's come from apricot pits.
Mm-hmm.
And after the very first treatment, I started coming around. Memories coming back, all kinds of just crazy emotions. And so it worked real well. And I'm still here. I made it longer than the 90 days that they guaranteed I would be dead in. So
is it completely gone?
So I've gone back. I've still got some memory stuff with, the short-term memory.
Sure.
And my sense of direction, since time and direction is absolutely trash. But luckily I've got, technology takes care of all that with scheduling and stuff. So it really doesn't matter that I'm not great with directions, because my car, I can tell my car to navigate to a certain place and it goes where I want it to go.
That's awesome.
As long as you've got the technology, the brain isn't required, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely not. You just got to know what the words mean, right?
Yeah.
Turn here. Man, that's impressive. I mean, like the fact that, we're sitting here, almost 13 years later having this conversation. And the thing that I really, respect about it is there was no fear. And there's no fear because you knew at the end of the day, I too am a believer of Christ. So I know where I'm going, right? I may have a dirty mouth at times, but I know where I'm going. I have a great heart and I'm a good person. But I think that takes an added layer of fear, anxiety, and disease off of you when it's just like, all right, I accept it. Like,
yep.
Screw it. All right, Mom, I'll go get my shot. We'll figure this thing out. And then, along the way, here we are 13 years later and, you're thriving and listen, man, I've always, for the moment we were connected on Instagram, I saw some of the people that I know doing some things. I'm like, man, that's a cool guy, man. Seems like he's an inspiring dude. He got his shit together. But like, after I've gotten to know you a lot better, it's just, that's the power of social media. And I feel like not enough people are utilizing it the right way.
Yeah.
Like, the fact, I can honestly say without hesitation that the people I have met in the last 2 years that are in my circle that I talk to from social media, are closer to me than some of the, listen guys, some of the people that have been in my life forever. So like my homies and my best gal friends, like, don't be offended by this. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people that I think have my best interests in mind. Yep. Right? Like, I just think it's a powerful thing, right? It gives the opportunity for us to broaden our circle and to have more people in our arena, in our corner together. Like, I just think it's impactful, man. So,
I've been invited to teach a class called Mastering Social Media at the Mesa County Library here. They're doing it for a bunch of entrepreneurs and business owners and stuff. They scheduled a couple months ago, but it's actually the day after tomorrow. But that's one of the biggest things I'm going to talk on is because there's all these people who are business leaders and trying to figure out how to market their mortgage companies or their, whatever different businesses. And the biggest thing where everybody messes up, where I did originally on social media years ago, is I'd get on and I'd talk about, I've got this new book. You got to check this out. It's, I've interviewed the inventor of the MP3 player and these different things. Read my book. Here's my book. Check this out. And nobody's checking it out because I'm talking about what I can get out of it. But when I started figuring out, it's every social media platform, they've got me there for an hour, plus questions afterwards. And I could literally distill that down to about a 60-second talk. Yeah, you could listen. You get on there, and whether it's collaborating, sharing, whatever it is, if you're doing at least 80% of all your content in order to give something to your audience with nothing required in return, just like I did with you with, different things where I'm going, hey, I can help you do this, help you do this, help you do that. And pretty soon when it comes time to pitch you for a big thing, that's not my point. But if I come up with something where I'm needing, a big financial investment from you or whatever, you go, man, Curtis has been there all along, always providing value. I've always got good things out of it. Then that's the person that you're going to do business with. And so it's basically on social media. It's the same kind of thing where if you're just providing value, even if that's, maybe it's just a picture of you or, it's a thing where you're sharing, I'll do it sometimes where I'm sharing or I'm on a trip or taking a motorcycle ride or, hiking or mountain biking, whatever the thing is, but where people are just getting to know you and go, man, that looks like a cool guy. That looks like a fun thing that he's doing. And then pretty soon when I come out with the new book or the new course or whatever, then people are excited about it. And then the money just comes without even having to ask folks.
Yeah. I think that's something that, everybody learns throughout their journey on social media. I'm still pretty new in it. Right. And so, I was noticing that, very early on, people weren't acting on what I was putting out there. Right now, I got to tell you, once people learn who you are and what your heart truly is by you being authentic and genuine every single time you put something out there, I started being myself, right? I started, if I was, feeling a certain energy about something, I wouldn't hold it back. I didn't worry about, if I was going to offend somebody or if this is too aggressive or what it is. These are my feelings. I'm going to be 100% transparent. And what I found is, to your point, I'm getting messages from all over the place that people, with my book, I'm like, what is going on? This is the most beautiful thing ever. And it's not from a standpoint of, hey, look what I've done. Let me pound my chest. It's just like, I'm going to sit in this emotion right now because I'm emotional about it. Awesome. I had someone yesterday send me a picture or tag me on social media. She's in a hospital bed holding my book up.
That's amazing.
Did a post and tagged me. I'm like, at that point I got it. I literally started, I had tears welling up. It's because this is the movement that I wanted. This is the movement that I set out to create when I started the Determined Society.
Yeah.
And to see it, coming full circle and still at the very infancy of it, in my humble opinion, it's still we're not even close right now. There's always another level. I will never stop pushing, but to see it start to come through in such a genuine way, like you're stating, I've provided so much value to these people. And value, I want the audience to hear this. The value could be just something you put out on social media. It could be a quote. It could get somebody through their day, right? Everybody has a story and everybody has the responsibility, in my opinion, to tell it. Because if you don't, it dies with you. And that's not only tragic, but it's irresponsible.
Because you don't have to. So many people try to figure out this class. The reason they're asking me to teach the class is because they're wanting me to tell the details of, how do you share this? How do you edit your video clips? How do you make, what colors do you use? How do you get this to be? So everybody showing up is expecting to figure out how to show up and create the Instagram feed that I've got and do the same kind of videos and the same stuff. Yeah. And some of them, I know they're going to be disappointed on some of them where they're expecting to be able to show up and get this formula of how do I get my video background to look like that? Those kind of things. Yeah. But if I tried to copy what you're doing with the Determined Society, I'm going to fail at it because I don't have the same type of, not only the same personality, but my audience is not the same as your audience. We've got a little bit different, a little bit different genre of people where some of them may absolutely love you. And I'm thinking, and I'm gonna copy exactly what Sheldon's doing. And when I post that, there you go.
Like, what is he doing?
This guy's a weirdo, even though I'm trying to do the same thing he is.
Yeah.
But talking about the books, that was another cool thing where I had a guy chase me down in the San Francisco airport. I carry a gun everywhere I go. I got one here with me on the side. I got another one tucked in my waist. So
he's packing, y'all.
I've always got ammunition and stuff. And so I'm going through the San Francisco airport and I hear footsteps, running behind me, flop, 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 flop. And I was like, what the heck? And then so I hear, Mr. McCoy, Mr. McCoy. And so I turn around and I'm thinking I'm about to get tackled by airport security. And so just thought going through my head, I figured maybe I had some extra shell in a bag or carry on or something. So I thought I was getting ready to get tackled for a bullet. But the guy comes running up and he says, I just want to let you know I'm your biggest fan. I want to see if I get your autograph.
That's nuts.
And so I told the guy, I was like, what? He said, yeah, I've read all your blog posts. And he just starts listing off. He's kind of a, like photographic memory kind of guy.
Yeah.
But he's talking about blog posts I'd written like back in 2016 or something. Yeah, I was reading this one, he's just listing off these different things. And I learned this from you here and I learned this from you here. And I just want to let you know I'm your biggest fan. And I said, you're probably my only fan. I've never had anybody say that. But thanks, man. You really made my day.
That's so cool, man.
But it's cool to see with the books or the podcasts or whatever. I had a deal. I was speaking in San Antonio a few months back here, and there was a guy last January that had got on. He called me in the middle of the night on Facebook because he got on. He was in the process of committing suicide. He'd already eaten a half a bottle of pills.
Jesus.
Eaten handfuls of it. Then he got on social media and he Googled motivational speakers or whatever it was that whatever he got on and searched, found my page and called in the middle of the night, just like a Facebook video call. And so I answered and I try to answer all the calls because it could be business or it could be something like that kid that was in the process of committing suicide. So as we're talking, he's talking about how he had been abused when he was a kid. And so I shared a little bit about the abuse with, my dad handed me a loaded pistol and told me to do the world a favor.
Jesus.
Different stuff like that. So just sharing this story with him and he's saying, well, I'm a loser. I've had, I've gone through a lot of same stuff where I'm listening to him going, maybe I'm a loser too. Cause I've been through the same kind of stuff.
Right.
But so I'm sharing the story, just going, you were created in the image of the God that created the entire universe. He created you in his image. So by default, you're amazing. Maybe you're in a rough time right now, but that doesn't mean this is where you should give up. I told him, hey, would you do me a favor? Make me a deal here. And well, what's it? I said, make me a deal. Okay, promise. I said, okay, I'm going to send you a copy of my book right now. I'm going to send you a copy of the latest book. You go dump the rest of those pills down the toilet. Don't set them on the counter. Dump them down the toilet and wait until you get that book and read through it cover to cover. And when you get done with the book, then make the decision if you still want to end your life. But give it a few days. Don't finish making this life-ending or life-changing decision right now. Will you make me that deal? So yeah. So I got his address and stuff, sent him a copy of the book. This is like January 2 years ago. And I was in San Antonio. I'd had this speech that I'd been working on for weeks and weeks, making sure it was absolutely dialed in. And during the first day of the conference, I start getting texts from this guy, and I didn't recognize who it was, but he just starts talking about how I changed his life and he's doing good. And he's just celebrating his 24th birthday. So we get done with the conference the first day and I'm reading through these. I'm like, holy cow, this is that guy that was in the process of killing himself. And so he had written out paragraphs of, he sent me his new personal identity saying, I'm a leader. I surround myself with good people. I make good choices. Good things come to me because I work hard, not because I deserve good things. So he wrote out this whole thing. And then he started sending pictures where he's standing out on his balcony where he's holding a book and he's saying, yesterday was my 24th birthday and I celebrated it not by being at the bar drinking with friends or doing drugs like I would have typically. He was talking about all the different drugs and stuff. So he said normally he would have got, done coke or heroin or whatever he was going to do and had a good time. But instead he sat home and read that book cover to cover again. Just changed his identity. But I'm going, that's not because of what I wrote. that's just because I had put myself out there on social media and had enough of an audience that when this kid searched for motivational speakers, he happened to find me because I had the most traffic or the most relevant posts. And so by finding that, I didn't have to be the best speaker. I didn't have to be the best author. I just had to be available where I was in front of him when he searched it, my name showed up, and then I could respond to that and get on the call with him and go, and listen, we went through some of the same stuff. Don't end your life here. Give it a little bit of a chance. So that wasn't about anything about who I was or any of that. Yeah. It was just by using social media to connect and get yourself in front of people, you end up in, that could have been a business deal, but it also ended up being where it's just changed kid's life. And he ended up, now he's doing good things instead of ending his life back last January.
I think it's impressive. But what I mean by that is like, I think to respectfully to disagree with you, it was about who you were. There's a lot of people in this business and a lot of, people that are in positions of inspiring people or motivating people, or they wouldn't have picked up that call because they'd have been too good to pick up a call, right? Oh, I'm not picking up this call. My team handles these things. That had happened, that young man's not alive right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is like truly a testament of why this dude is my friend, because it's things like that. When you can truly give your heart in every situation and not want anything from people, but just want the best for them, like amazing things happen. And 2 years later, here you are delivering a keynote in San Antonio, and this boomerangs back around. And you get to see that although you may not have had communication with him after that book was sent out, and I'm sure you've been praying endlessly for this kid, you got to see that he is now okay.
Well, and
that to me is that to me right there, like, forget every single thing that you've accomplished professionally. That was your purpose.
Well, and the other cool thing besides that, though, is it wasn't just, I'd been working on a speech almost like a sales, I had it ridiculously dialed in exactly what I wanted to say. And as this was going on, I started getting messages. And then the final messages that were coming in were late, like 2, 3 a.m. And the kid's still messaging where he's celebrating his birthday. And he's sending these pictures about his new identity. So I got up the next day on stage and scrapped my original speech, told him, don't use my slideshow, none of that. And got up and talked about how by putting yourself out there in front of people, by building a good following online where people, identify with you, even if you've never got a chance to meet them, where they can get out and go, hey, I really like that Sean guy. He seems to share some good stuff. He seems to have a good heart. And then now when they're needing to get a hold of you, maybe they're needing to hire a speaker, maybe they're needing somebody to co-author a book, or maybe they're going, I'm at my wit's end, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to reach out to this, who's the first social media guy that I can think of? Okay, Sean. I'm going to try to reach out to Sean French. But by getting out there, just having that. But that turned into a speech where I got up and I was just sharing, here's some of the stuff with this kid's new identity. Here's, the pictures of the book. And so I sold a whole lot of books because of that, because people are going, I want to hear this. And so rather than just talking about the pre-planned speech, I just got up there and was able to be real with the audience and share this real story. And that was actually the fourth kid that I've had, because of the social media stuff and being out there. That's the fourth person I know of directly that had decided not to end their life because of just getting into contact. But that's all possible because of just by getting your name out there on social media. So if you're a jerk, if you're a dirtbag, maybe hold up and don't try to grow your following. But if you're a good person, I'd say try to blow it up, because it'll open up some opportunities for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great way to increase your reach and to do more for people, right? And to just be there, man. And that's an impressive story. That truly is. And unfortunately, we're running out of time, man. We're both busy dudes and we got to roll. But I just want to thank you so much for being on the show and telling stories that may not be out there in circulation. Because like I told you before we started recording, I do my best to keep my show fresh every single week. It is not the same questions. Nothing is scripted. My intros aren't scripted. They're all real and raw. And, just a little bit of post editing from my boy, Anthony. And, so I take great pride in it. And, this conversation has been so enlightening because it was so dynamic. It was a deep conversation, and it was great to learn more about you. And guys, if you, are on, Instagram, you got to look up my boy, M. Curtis McCoy, follow him, see what he's got going on. And if he's ever doing a conversation or a keynote anywhere in your area, I don't care what the investment is, you need to go. You need to hear what this man has to say, because not only has he been very successful in the medical industry, the cosmetic industry, which is medical, and then now you're talking about the supplement industry, and now we're in, the PR and press release in the magazine industry, and he's also a professional in the people industry, and that is what matters the most. So, bro, with that being said, a couple more questions. One, what can my audience do to best support you?
Man, that's a good question. So one of the things, if you've got, I'm trying to get more into, I've spoken at Caesar's Palace and all kinds of stuff, big events, but I'm really looking to get into speak with schools, high schools, middle schools, stuff like that. Even though they're lower paying than some of the large, technical events are. But definitely, if you're an administrator, school administrator, anybody that's got any pull with the school, I would love that contact to get featured, where I can get in and talk to students and help them improve their lives. And then also, if you know anybody that's looking to, they're trying to get verified on social media or whatever, I can get you featured in Newswire magazine. So feel free to send me a message. Let's get connected. And always happy to meet new people.
Absolutely. Go to Newswire, Newswire magazine. Check out my article. You'll see the kind of artwork that he does, and it's a truly professional feature, and it was amazing. So I highly recommend it. And like I mentioned to you for Curtis, my students, I'm going to send your way for a lot of those services for verification purposes, for amazing feature cover articles, but more than that, man, what else can I do to support you?
Man, that's it. I'm just always looking to connect with great folks. So if you've got people that are good people, send them over my way and let's get connected. And I'm always happy to work with other folks.
Absolutely.
Whether it's co-authoring a book, speaking, whatever. I'm happy to help out.
Co-authoring a book. I'm down to do another book.
Actually, we need to get you in. I'm writing my 5th book right now.
Okay.
I've had well over 100 applicants already, but it's going to be on personal branding and personal identity.
Ooh.
I would absolutely love to feature you in that book.
Let's talk about it offline, man, for sure. Cool, I think that'd be fun. I would definitely love to do that project with you. So guys, you heard it. You know where to go to find him. And if you don't remember, don't worry. I'm going to put it in the notes so you don't have to write anything down. Just go down, hit more or see more, expand details, and you're going to see every single place you can find my boy Curtis. Maybe even links to purchase some of his books would be really cool. So be looking out for that. And more than anything, guys, if you got anything out of the show, please share the show out. That's the only way I'm growing right now. I'm not doing ads. Eventually I might be forced to if you guys don't share the show. So no pressure, but share the show, tag us on our social medias. I know Curtis and myself will share it back out on our platform. We appreciate anything you can do to bring awareness to this episode. And with that being said, guys, take care. See you next time.